So a couple of months ago, I had my first label release as an artist. I've had multiple under production music and sync kind of stuff, but this is my first one with my artist name. It's been a really cool experience and a really cool process. So I wanted to go through and show you the song that I worked on and eventually got released to Bass Rebels, which is a label based in the UK. It's kind of different to the other things that I've shown on this channel, so I'm really excited to show you the behind the scenes, the little bits and pieces that you might not catch on a first listen. And also I wanted to show you a couple things that are just my favorite parts of the track, and I think that you'll think that they're really cool tricks. Especially pay attention to the thing at the end of the vocal section. It's my favorite part of the song. This track has Murphy on vocals, and I've worked with her before. I've done a breakdown of the other song we did together right over here. And for this one, we came up with some pop punk and electro pop kind of references, and then she wrote the lyrics and I worked on the production for this track. So let's get a quick listen. So Murphy's a really talented singer, and when she sends over vocals, she gives me a bunch of options of different ad-libs and multiple takes and just different ideas and stuff. So I have a lot of room to play and create some really awesome dynamics in the song and also some creative effects as well. The one thing I really want to point out on the vocal group is my use of mono versus stereo in this track. So when you listen to the first few seconds of the chorus starts out mono, and then as everything blasts in, extra vocals come in on the side to fill out the space. So I think this is a really cool dynamic thing that helps to create like kind of levels in the track. It's like we're going from small, medium, big, and then back down in the verse, and it really helps to carry the energy throughout the song. So if you take a look at this section, watch the faders on the side here, and you'll see that only this track starts out, and then this is a harmony underneath the lead vocal, and this is all mono, then stereo comes in. Then when we get to the end of the chorus, these little fills are on the sides as well. So I'm going to back up to this verse and show you the different layers of things that are going on here. So here with the vocals, you're going to hear the lead vocals, you're going to hear a harmony, and the harmony has some extra tuning and stuff on it. Then you're also going to hear some ad-libs as well. So let's take a look at that.
I ain't gonna come crawling back. You're trying so hard to be relevant. You're breaking hearts just for the hell of it. Oh baby, I think you should get a grip. You can shake off your reputation.
So you hear how we have those lead vocals, then we have that really hard tuned harmony that is giving some extra like harmonic depth to the vocal stack. And then we have these ad-libs that are coming in, and they have different effects on them. We have little altar boys, so that's pitching down the vocals with the formant shifting them, and then we're also panning them back and forth. Then also in some other areas, we have some reverse reverb going on as well, which is one of my favorite effects. And then there's also little bits of ear candy that you probably wouldn't hear unless you listen really close, but there's even sharply pitched up things like this. Where does that fit into the group? Let's take a listen.
You can check off your reputation. I'm done with our dumb conversations. Baby, I turned off my location.
Such a tiny little thing, but I love just like playing with these vocals in different ways. So let me give you one more example of the use of mono versus stereo with these vocals real quick. So here in the first verse, this is something that we do. So take a listen to the first half and then the second half.
Now that I know better and I'm grown now, you won't see me come crawling back.
Stereo coming in.
You're trying so hard to be relevant. You're breaking hearts just for the hell of it. Oh baby, I think you should get a grip.
So we have a lot of reverb going on. Like I showed you that reverse reverb. Then I have a lot of delay throws going on as well. And I really think this helps to kind of glue the vocals with the production of the track. I think it really helps to blend those two worlds together and kind of create a cohesive atmosphere, if you will. So there's little delay throws all over the place. Here's a couple.
Give me a hard time. Nothing more and nothing less. Baby, now you know I made up my mind. And I ain't gonna come crawling back. You're trying so hard to be relevant.
Then if we go to the end of the song, I like how there's a locator named bridge there. There's not even a bridge in the song. Anyway, if we go to the end of this song, we'll hear my absolute favorite part of the song. Take a listen to the backup vocals that are going on, and they get sent to a really long reverb, and you'll see what happens from there. But just take a listen. It takes a second to happen.
Up, I left you in the cold. Hope you choke, oh. I hope you choke, oh.
So this ad lib is Murphy going, right? And it has a vocoder on it as well, as you can hear. Then it's getting sent to this crazy reverb that I have the freeze effect being turned on. Oh my, what just happened to what happened to this effect? Why is that happening? Oh my, all my text got replaced with emojis. What? Oh, and it just went back. That is the craziest thing ever. I guarantee you this is a legit copy of all my Native Instruments products. I don't know why it just did that. That was the randomest thing ever. Okay, sorry about that. So Native Instruments built this effect, you can read about this, so that you can really twist the size knob and it changes really smoothly. So I took advantage of this effect, and if you watch the plugin, the freeze knob gets turned on, this button right here, and then I change the size. So then it goes low and it comes back up. So in the course of the mix, this helps to act like a final bit of sustain. Then it also acts like an effect sweep that leads us all the way to the end of the song. So let's take a listen in the course of the mix. So it's not an effect sweep sample, it's actually the reverb that's being, I don't know, played like an instrument, I guess. So let's move on to the next thing. Next thing I want to talk about are the lead synths that I have going on in this track. And there was a bit of an issue with these synths that I wanted to chat about here. So this is the synth. It's made with this Massive X synth. Then it's being sent to this really resonant filter effect that is giving it this kind of wah pedal sound. And I'm modulating that with an LFO. But anyway, I have two versions of it, one in the verse that's a little softer, and then one in the chorus that's a little harsher and has a couple different effects on it. A little more drive. Love the sound of that with this filter, with this driver effect on it. I think it really gives it that analog feel. That's without. It feels more bitey and cold. This, so much more full. And obviously it's louder, but anyway. This gets reversed a couple times. I think that's a really nice transition between sections. So let's chat about this lead synth and the issue I had with it. I wanted to make this video to bring up some of the challenges that I have with the song, not just all the cool parts of the song. So this is the original synth line, and I wrote it for the initial version of the instrumental and stuff before I sent it off to Murphy, right? I really enjoyed this, so let's take a listen to it real quick. So I love the sound of this melody, and I had an issue. Once I got the vocals into the session, I kept trying to balance this synth melody with the lead vocals, and I kept having them clash. They just kept clashing with each other. So I tried to do a bunch of things to blend them with EQ and do some embedding and all that, but ultimately it was more than just an EQ issue. It was a production issue. It was an arrangement issue. So I changed and simplified the synth, and guess what? It fits way better with the vocals. So I wanted to make this point to illustrate that when we're in the box, we have this awesome flexibility that people in the past may not have had, right? So when you're able to just reach for the instruments that you wrote the music on, even if we're way later in the stages, such as the mixing stage of the song, we can go back and alter these things to end up making a better song. So it really removes that whole concept of like the hard separation between the different stages of the process, right? We're no longer locked into this process of writing, then arranging, then tracking, then mixing, then mastering. Like, we can kind of do all of those things with each other, and it really blurs the line between all those steps. And at the end of the day, we can focus on just making a good song, regardless of what order we do it in. Let's take a listen to that original melody with the vocals really quick.
Choke on all the lies you told. Dust away and turn to gold.
So when listening back to that, you can see that the vocals have their own kind of path they're going on with the melody, and the synth has its own path that it's going on with the melody. So what I ended up doing was I went back and simplified the synth melody so that it helps to support the vocals better and helps to lay under the vocals better. It doesn't do any clashing. Let's take a listen between the new synth melody and the vocals.
Choke on all the lies you told. Dust away and turn to gold.
When we're trying to make a quick, snappy pop style song, it's really going to be distracting if you're making a really complex synth line that is trying to sit alongside a busy vocal stack as well. So be very careful like which thing should get the focus. I would say most people are going to be focusing on the vocals, not the synths. You know, only the audio nerds like me are going to focus on those things. So I would say do everything you can to support the vocals in the song. Also, just to mention, I have one other little synth filler thing. Sounds like this. And it's a motif that kind of comes in throughout the song. Here it is in the one verse. So it's panning back and forth. Then it has a bit reduction effect on it. Finally, at the very end of the song, it builds up, and then I turn this bit reduction knob way down to get this final little crackle at the end of the song. And that's how the song ends, right on the kick. Let's go into the pads. So with the pads here, I wanted to keep it simple. I just needed a nice bed for all of the other instruments to kind of sit into, a nice ambience, right? Didn't want them to be too busy or take up too much room. So it's just a simple kind of sweeping pad. And then we have like a more pillowy kind of static pad. I love the sound of the synth, by the way. So if you listen to them together, yeah. Leading back into the second chorus of the song, I take the one pad and I add a bit of a tremolo gating kind of effect. Take a listen to this. Just something simple to give it a little more energy. Let's go on to the guitar. So the guitar is actually a sample library. It's a contact instrument, but I really like the sound of it. I took the MIDI and I resampled it and I chopped it up a bit to help do the chord changes better. I like the tight, plasticky sound that it has. It's punchy in the high mids, but it's not like so bright that it is getting in the way of the crispiness of the vocals or anything. If you take a listen to that, super punchy and compressed. So that's like the acoustic section, right? And then we take it to the next level with an electric guitar section. So this is another contact instrument, just doing some palm muted kind of stuff. Then I layered it with my own guitar, my Stratocaster as well. Then I have this little arpeggio kind of thing I recorded as well. It's actually kind of funny because a lot of songs, they have electric guitar come in as like that big instrument, right? To take the energy from like small to large in a chorus section or something. But I'm actually doing the reverse. Instead, I'm having the electric guitar in the kind of smaller sections in the verse and stuff. Then when we come back into the chorus, it's actually the acoustic that's the loudest thing. Then I modulated these guitars with a lot of filters. I think this gives us really cool sound. So let's check out our bass. Here's what we're using for bass. I made sure to drink my bottle of whiskey and put my cowboy hat on before I recorded this MIDI part on my keyboard. But so I actually don't have a bass guitar. I need to get one, but this thing gets me pretty close. It doesn't sound amazing when soloed, but in the course of the mix, it sits there nicely. This is what we did. So I love the little bit of attack that you get on that kind of picked bass sound that this instrument has. I originally was layering it with a sub bass as well. You only hear that if you have some really good headphones on or a big system, but I actually took it away because I felt like the song was just kind of sitting on this pillow of bass. Ultimately, I ended up actually taking away too much bass when I muted that part. So in the mastering phase, we actually added some back in later on, and I'm happy that we did that because it sounds a lot fuller when you listen to the final mix. Anyway, only other thing I did with the bass is this cool little mid-bass part in the pre-choruses. Fully out on the sides. Let's take a listen to that in the mix. I'm done with that dumb conversations. Baby, I turned off my location. I don't know. I think that adds a nice texture. Finally, let's get onto the drums. This is a fat old drum stack, and I really enjoy the sound of it just listening to it. It's just so, it smacks you so hard. So this is built up mostly with this Butch Vig kit. I love the electronic acoustic kind of hybrid sound that this kit has. Then I layered this kit with a couple of like hard EDM kick and snare. I do a lot of filtering with the drums in this. So then we also have some more acoustic hats coming in from a studio drummer kit, and this is also where the tom fills come from as well. So I just love the combination of like this airy acoustic sound that you get and all like the brilliance that comes from that, but then also hard-edged, snappy samples as well. I think it's a really great blend. Let's take a listen to some of the fill type things that you might not have heard in the original mix. So I have like a synth percussion thing going on. Tambourine, sticks. And then we roll that tambourine off at the end there. So that's a combination of two synth presets. Actually, I can unfreeze these really quick. Then I have this kind of 80s-ish sounding fill. If you heard those big clap sounds when I soloed the rest of the group, here's those in isolation. So I really love the sound of this drum group, and I want to give it another listen coming back into the second chorus. Thanks so much for checking this out. If you have any questions, leave them down below. And if you need any help with your music, feel free to reach out. I offer a bunch of different services from coaching to mixing to full service music production. I'd be really eager to help you get your songs sounding the way you want them to. And also, I hope you check out the free things that I have in the description of this video. If you want more behind the scenes Ableton stuff, go check out this video right here.